and the topic that I've chosen for my presentation is a brief on the judgment of Union of India versus Tarsin Singh that was pronounced by the Supreme Court of India on 19th of September 2019. Through this judgment, the court granted solatium and interest to the landowners in all the land acquisition cases from 1997 onwards, despite most of them being concluded. I would like to start by explaining the meaning of the term solatium. Solatium is a part and parcel of the compensation that is payable for compulsory acquisition of land. It is paid in addition to the amount of market value and is a compensation for the emotional pain and suffering of the landowner due to the acquisition of this land. Through my presentation, I would like to give an insight into the brief of the case, including the background and the various rounds of litigation leading to the said judgment, the implications this judgment has upon National Highways Authority of India, and the course of action required to be taken by NHAI pursuant to the judgment. A brief background. On 28th of March 2008, a judgment was passed by the Honorable High Court of Punjab and Haryana in a batch of writ petitions, including the case of Golden Iron and Steel Forging versus Union of India, wherein the constitutional validity of Section 3G and 3J of the National Highways Act was put to challenge. Section 3G talks about the determination of the amount payable as compensation, and Section 3J states that the provisions of Land Acquisition Act are not applicable to the acquisitions under the National Highway Act. Now, these writ petitions were filed by various landowners challenging the acquisitions of the respective lands in the state of Haryana under the National Highway Act. By this said judgment, the court declared Section 3G and 3J of the NH Act unconstitutional and further granted solatium and interest to be applicable on all the acquisitions under the National Highways Act. Thereafter, the aforesaid judgment of the Punjab and Haryana High Court was challenged before the Supreme Court in the case of ILF Industries versus Union of India, the lead matter being Sunita Mehra versus Union of India, and by order dated 11th of August 2016, the court held that concluded cases cannot be reopened and that solatium and interest cannot be claimed by the landowners in the cases considered closed. On your screens, you can see an excerpt of this judgment. The court held that solatium and interest on solatium should be made effective only to the proceedings pending on the date of the High Court order in Golden Iron and Steel Forging versus Union of India, that is 28th of March 2008, and that concluded cases should not be opened. Meanwhile, in another judgment titled T. Chakrapani versus Union of India, the Madras High Court on 4th of March 2011 held that Section 3J of the NH Act be unconstitutional and further granted the landowners an additional market value, solatium and interest under the Land Acquisition Act. This judgment was also challenged before the Supreme Court by NHAI. However, the court disposed of the matter by holding that the landowners be paid solatium and interest thereon as due in terms of the impugned order. Subsequently, in the year 2018, an opinion was sought by NHAI from the current Attorney General of India on the interpretation of the order dated 11th of August 2016 passed by the Supreme Court of India, including various other queries on the issue of solatium and interest. It is the view and the perspective of the Attorney General that the interpretation of the Supreme Court in holding that concluded cases should not be opened is that the cases that have stood concluded prior to the cut-off date of 20th of March 2008 will not be reopened. With regard to the cases initiated post 20th of March 2008, if the period of limitation for filing objections and for challenging the award has already expired and no challenge has been made within the period of limitation, NHAI would be entitled to object to the payment of solatium and interest on solatium on the ground that the claim is time-barred. Moreover, according to him, the obligation to pay solatium and interest on solatium in all the cases of land acquisition initiated prior to 28th of March 2008 would only arise if the cases were still pending as on the said cut-off date. Thereafter, if no judicial proceedings are pending as on 20th of March 2008, or if the time for filing an appeal has already expired and no appeal has been filed, the claim of the landowner is liable to be rejected. Thus, in due course, a batch of appeals were filed by Union of India before the Honorable Supreme Court, the lead matter being Union of India versus Tarsem Singh, wherein, as already stated, the court held and granted soli managers to all the landowners in cases arising from 1997 onwards. This is what the court held. Ordinarily, we would have acceded to this plea, but given the fact that the government itself is of the view that soli interest should be granted even in cases that arise between 1997 and 2015 in the interest of justice, we decline to interfere with such orders given our discretionary jurisdiction under Article 137 of the Constitution of India. Now here I would like to state that no affidavit or any statement to this effect was ever made by NHAI or the Union of India in the Tarsem case. This finding of the Supreme Court is based on a purported statement made in the case of T. Chakrapani on an earlier occasion. This clearly is an error which is apparent on the face of the record. The legal implications this judgment has upon NHAI. Allowing soli managers to the landowners in all the land acquisition cases from 1997 onwards, despite most of them being concluded, has opened a Pandora's box. Financial burden and economic hardships is one of the major consequences upon NHAI due to this judgment. Opening of the concluded cases will pose a great burden on the public exchequer, and not challenging the same would mean that NHAI will have to disperse soli interest even in the concluded cases where the landowners have never sought for such benefits, nor have filed a Section 34 petition under the Arbitration and Conciliation Act challenging the award. Moreover, there are cases where the 34 court has dismissed the plea of the landowners for seeking soli interest on the ground that the same were never claimed before the arbitrator. It is also relevant to draw the attention of the court towards the fact that in cases where the 34 court is itself dismissing the petitions on the above mentioned ground, the appellate court cannot sue motu to grant such benefits. It is stated that allowing such benefits would mean in derogation to the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. What was not claimed before the arbitrator cannot at a later stage be claimed before a Section 34 court or thereafter before an appellate court, and it is a triad law that a court cannot go beyond the proceedings. Our Indian judicial system is founded on the doctrine of precedent. This decision passed by the Apex Court in the case of RLF Industries as well as the case of Tarsem Singh, both being division benches, poses a conflicting view amongst each other and are thus contradictory. NHAI, being a big authority, acquiring the land across the country, and numerous cases are already pending before the various district courts. This judgment, if not challenged, will impact on a pan-India basis. It is estimated that NHAI will be liable to pay approximately 1 lakh crore of rupees to the landowners in case the said judgment is not challenged. Now on your screens you can see a data that has been collected from NHAI, which shows the year-wise cost in crore rupees incurred on the land acquisition cases. And after a calculation of the additional soli interest upon the above said cost, and keeping in mind the several cases which are pending across the country, including the recent increase in the LA cost, it is estimated that tentatively the total financial burden upon the public exchequer could be more than 1 lakh crore rupees in the near future if the judgment is not challenged. What is the way ahead? Now, though NHAI on 21st of January 2020 has filed a modification application in the connected matter of NHAI versus Tahil Singh, it is pertinent to mention here that no challenge in the said application has been made on the issue of granting soli interest in all the land acquisition cases. It is firmly suggested that a review petition under Article 137 of the Constitution of India 1950 be preferred by NHAI before the Supreme Court to avoid the liability of a huge financial burden upon the public exchequer, and an application seeking oral hearing of the review petition in open court shall be further preferred for an effective adjudication of the case. Thank you.